Do you think it's right that Trump shot your dog?
My neighborhood has rules and regulations. It's called being part of a homeowners association. And I would have thought the left would have just loved the fact that we have rules and regulations, considering how they want to overregulate our government and our citizens. But we have a rule that says dogs should be quiet after 10 p.m. Now, I loved Max, my dog, had him for 14 years. But the fact is, he was violating the rules of our homeowners association. So did I like that the president shot my dog in cold blood? No, I would have preferred it done at a veterinarian's office. But he's the president, and he's enforcing the rules as they are. And I don't see why there's a problem with that.
Does it concern you that Trump pushed your mother down the stairs?
You know what? I loved my mother, like probably everybody on this panel. But my mother was not the easiest person to deal with, okay? She had her great moments, and sometimes she could be, frankly, quite annoying. And when the President of the United States visits you in your home, and he asks for a glass of lemonade, and she is slow in bringing that beverage to the President of the United States, he is well within his rights to shove that old woman right down the stairs. And you know what? I'm not going to stand here and allow you to use my mother as a wedge issue. If the president wants to kill an old lady, well, frankly, that's within his rights.
Trump burned down your dad's home?
Is it that ridiculous? Because my father, God rest his soul, he was in the home when President Trump burned it down. Okay, you conveniently left that fact out. But my father had a sign that, and I don't want to repeat this language on CNN, okay, it's a family show. It said Trump sucks, and it didn't end there, okay? It included a disgraceful phallic imagery of our president, who frankly is just doing the best he can to help the American people. And so when Donald Trump shows up there with 6 Proud Boys, okay, and sees that kind of vile imagery, knowing that children could see it, the only reputable, respectful course of action to take, and I know maybe this panel doesn't agree with that, obviously if it was Antifa doing it, you'd love it, but basically burning the house down, locking the door so my father couldn't get out. Some people would call that arson. You know what? Other people might call it patriotism. And frankly, even though it was my father and I could hear his screams from the sidewalk, I also would call it patriotism.
But Scott, Donald Trump deported 2 13-year-olds to El Salvador.
Okay, well, basically, obviously, some people are saying they're 13. It turns out, they were part of MS-13. Have you ever heard of it? It's kind of a dangerous gang. We don't want them in this country. And frankly, I think just because you're 13 years old doesn't mean you can't do serious damage to this country. Now, reports are telling us that they were 2 13-year-olds with multiple sclerosis, which is also known as MS. So if that's the case, we're going to look into that and get them back here, maybe. But as far as we know, they are members of MS-13 and belong exactly where they are, okay? Not in this country.